It's the holidays, and what better way to celebrate the holidays than baking some cookies? Don't you agree? Today I have a delicious peppermint cookie with a peppermint glaze and a peppermint topping. It's really fun, really festive, and I think you're gonna wanna make it for all of your friends. It's also really easy. Let me show you how. The first thing I'm doing is unwrapping these little peppermint candies. It's the little ones with either the swirl on them or the little stripes. So unwrap 12 of those. Once you've unwrapped them all, put them into a Ziploc bag. Get your kids to do this. Who needs to be bothered unwrapping candies? Just know that you need like twice as many because the kids will eat half of them. So just bang on it with a meat mallet. You can use a rolling pin or the bottom of a heavy skillet and then just crush them. They shouldn't be completely into a powder, so leave some nice chunks like that. You see how those are kind of big-ish? Maybe that's too big. Like that. So you're gonna sprinkle that on top of the glaze kind of later, actually. You could wait and do this while they're baking, but I'm just gonna get ahead. Okay, set those aside and whisk together your dry ingredients. 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Make sure that you scoop and level for the most proper measuring technique. It's actually really easy if you have a wide mouth jar to put your flour in. 1 tablespoon of baking powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of fine salt. Whisk it all together, make sure everything's nice incorporated, set it aside, and then you'll cream your butter and sugar. I have 2 sticks of softened, unsalted butter, room temp. It should be able to hold the mark of your finger in it without mushing completely apart. To that, add 2 cups of sugar. This recipe is really simple. It doesn't have a ton of ingredients, but it has a really beautiful final product, so I recommend giving it a try. And then cream that together. I'm using a hand mixer today. Cream the butter and sugar till it's nice and light and fluffy, which if your butter's the right temperature will happen extremely fast. You definitely want to make sure that you move the mixer around the bowl a lot so you get all the butter and sugar and make it nice and light and fluffy. This is probably the most important step when you're making a cookie, is making sure that your mixture is creamed properly. And you can tell when everything gets very well combined, looks nice and fluffy, you can see that it looks much lighter and it's probably doubled in volume. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it's gotten a lot more voluminous. That is done creaming. Then just add 1 large egg, just 1 egg. Beat that in, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of pure mint extract. Make sure you use the pure, all the time use pure. That other stuff has a terrible flavor. All that's left is to add the flour mixture. That wasn't hard, right? I'm just gonna add all of it at once. Live life on the edge. Let's see what happens, shall we? I may live to regret that. Just start really, really slow, and I think you'll be okay. This is working, it's fine, it's okay. I was right. Now you have a dough, and the last thing you need to do is add 1/2 cup of mini chocolate chips. I think I'm supposed to stir this in. What happens if I use the mixer? Uh-oh. See all that batter that's in those beaters? All right, I think I need to stop and then stir in your chips by hand. It is not working the other way. Hey, I tried, right? Can't fault me for trying. And just finish stirring in the chips by hand. That's it, it's done. That was easy, right? I have some trays lined with parchment paper. I'm just gonna scoop 1.5 inch balls. I have a 1.5 inch scoop. This just makes it easier to make sure that they're all even. You can certainly do this using tablespoons or something like that. Place them about 2 inches apart on the baking sheet. Make sure that you leave the space between them because they do actually spread quite a bit when you bake them. You'll see. Bake these at 350 degrees for 12 minutes approximately. They need to be golden around the edges. Rotate them halfway through. Should take about 12 minutes. When the cookies have cooled, patiently wait until they're completely cool, then you can glaze them. You need a cup of confectioner's sugar to make the glaze. You want to make sure that you sift it so that your glaze isn't lumpy. So I have a fine sieve here on a bowl. To that, you're going to add 3 to 5 tablespoons of heavy cream. You could use milk too. Start with 3 and whisk it together and see what happens. You'll probably need the full 5, but you never know. You want to make sure that once the glaze is done, it's a spoonable consistency that will coat the cookie, but it won't pour off the edges, right? I can tell this isn't going to be enough already because it's sticking inside the sieve. I definitely need the 5th tablespoon, and you may find that you actually need slightly more. I feel like it's a spoonable, spreadable consistency, so it's time to glaze. I want to put the cooling rack of cookies on a pan just in case something drips over. It won't. I mean, God forbid there should be glaze on your counter. So spoon your glaze on top of your cookie, leaving a little bit of a border. I mean, you know, you don't have to leave a border, but don't put too much on. Otherwise, it'll just be overly thick. And then sprinkle it with those crushed up peppermints, making sure you don't use any pieces that are so big they'll crack somebody's tooth. You want to let it sit until the glaze is completely set. I don't know, an hour? They're set. I think I can try them now. I'm just assuming they're delicious. I was right. It's got a great chewy texture with a little bit of crunch from the peppermint candies crushed on top. It is a delight. Eat as many as you want. It's Christmas.